What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel over here at Mac-Fab Beadlocks with Lyle and his guys over here. Check it out, guys. If y'all need some wheels beadlocked, this is man to hit up. Mac-Fab. They can do it. You can do appointments. You can bring them here, set up a time. He can ship them. You ship them to him, and then he can ship them back. Check it out. Hang on. Lyle, what's been going on, man?
Man, racing as much as I can, and then the beadlock business has been really good.
That's awesome, dude.
You know, we've been doing this 17 years. I haven't, but the business has been here for 17 years. My dad bought it a few years ago, and it's really going well, man. You would think at some point you've beadlocked them all. You know what I mean?
You said beadlock the world.
But well, that's our goal. Yeah, you know, you can send your existing non-beadlock wheels to us. We can convert them to beadlocks and send them right back to you. Like you said in the intro there, you can set up an appointment, show up like you have today, leave with beadlock wheels in about an hour, or you can ship them to me in a couple days from the day that I receive them. We can ship them back out beadlocked. We also are a dealer for most of your major manufacturers. So Weld, Billet Specialties, Sanders, RC Components, anybody that you guys can think of that make drag racing wheels, we're a dealer for. Have most of the barrels and centers here in stock. I can assemble about whatever wheel you want and sell you a brand new wheel, and through us a good bit cheaper than buying from the manufacturer. They charge about, on average, $900 to $1,000 a wheel for a double beadlock. We're in the $600 to $700 a wheel per wheel range for a double beadlock. We can single beadlock, double beadlock, kind of whatever you want, you know. And there are things that determine whether a wheel can or cannot be doubled. Backspace is 99% of the determining factor, but if you give me a call here at the shop, message us on Facebook or Instagram, email us, whatever. Our website's Mac-Fab-performance.com. Pretty much any question can be answered there, or you can just give me a call. We can get you set up, man. Got 6 different designs, 6 different color options, and really it's custom engraving, kind of whatever you want to do. We can customize it about as much as you'd want to do it.
They can make it happen for you. I mean, really, there's a ton of beadlock rings over here, and they're, I mean, custom stuff, like you said. I mean, these are all custom stuff. What's the biggest y'all do now?
We recently did a 32-inch wheel.
Wow.
These are 26s. Are these 24s or 6s? 24. These are 24s for Donk Master.
That's insane.
He's been a long-time customer of ours, but the Donk game has gotten fast enough now that they need beadlocks, and that I know of are the only people in the world that beadlock these big inch wheels. So
that's crazy.
That's an option too.
It looks phenomenal, and they actually make all the beadlock stuff here in the house.
Yeah, we'll go back to the machine shop and take a look around. We that was a big piece of square plate when Kevin started, and now it's a single beadlock 24.
That's insane. And I was over here last year about this same time getting my first set of beadlocks, and I crashed that car. One of the wheels survived, and so now he's going to make the other one match.
Yeah, and if you are in that same situation, you know, you can bring the good wheel, we'll measure on it, make sure we make the other wheel exactly like it, and that's something we can do. If you've got a set of single beadlock wheels that you want to make doubles, as long as it's eligible for a double, we can do that. Whatever you need as far as beadlocks are concerned, more than likely we can help you out.
And like he was saying, it's the backspacing deal on the inside one that's a problem. If you get too much, if it's too deep, then you can't get the tire over the barrel.
That's hard for a lot of people to understand. But yeah, there's a void or a drop in the wheel. This one's probably about the easiest one to see. This one's not a great example because it's super easy to mount the tire on, but this is the back side of the wheel. This fat part of the barrel, where this drop is towards the center, the drop has to be close enough to the rear bead for you to mount the tire. So if you can, the same thing with a tire at the tire shop, one side of the tire has to fall into this void while the other side is being pried up and over the beadlock ring. If this distance is too far, if you can imagine turning a 15-inch circle on its side, it still has to be 15 inches in diameter, even, you know, cocked over for you to get the tire up and over the beadlock ring. So if that distance is too far, you can't stretch a tire.
Right.
You know, so that's really what determines whether it can be doubled or not, and it's wheel dependent. John's wheels, the Pro Stars, are some that can be doubled up to like 4.5 inches. This one here could be doubled if it was 6-inch backspace or less, and then Billet Specialties makes 4 wheels, a street light, a wind light, a Dominator, and a red line, and those can all be doubled up to 7.5 inches of backspace.
Oh, wow.
And they're the only ones made today that can be done like that. So,
right. And the reason they do the barrels like this is for brake clearance. You
Yes.
got to have a bigger barrel in the back,
Yep.
and I guess Billet
So-
Specialties just figured out how to make it a little
The
little
ID
closer.
of our beadlock ring is 13.5 inches, which is the largest in the industry. So from center line of axle to the outermost portion of your caliper, you need 6 3/4 inches to clear the beadlock ring. Now, with that being said, if it's 6-inch backspace, the caliper is going to ride inside the beadlock ring anyway. As
Right.
long as you can cock the wheel and get it up and over the caliper, you're good. But if you're going to have a 3 to 4.5 inch backspace wheel, more than likely the beadlock ring is going to ride right over top of the caliper,
Right.
and that's where the clearance is super important. If you're really close, a good buffing wheel on the side grinder, and you can clearance on that caliper a little bit. A lot of them are pretty thick and got some proud areas, from some casting marks or whatever that you can kind of buff down. But a ton of things to consider before you double beadlock a wheel. But like I said, if you just call us, I can answer about any question you got, and we can get you set up and double beadlock, single beadlock, whatever you need.
And if you have a good set of brakes on the back, TBMs are
TBM,
great.
that's the only way to go, man.
Tons of clearance.
Yep.
I mean, they fit perfect. Their race brakes are awesome. That's what I've got on
The
both of my
TBM
cars.
brakes are small. The smaller strange brakes, you run into trouble with some wheel woods, some of the aerospace stuff. The bigger strange brakes, some of you may still be running some kind of factory brake.
Right.
Those can all kind of get you in some trouble sometimes. But like I said, more than likely we can steer you in the right direction.
All right. So that is pretty cool there. Boys, Lyle handed me these before he turned on the machine, and I was like, nah, bro, I'm good.
You need them, don't you?
That is unbelievable.
It's loud.
That machine looks a little sketchy. I'm not going
I mean, we did build it, so.
I'm just saying. I mean, this machine, man, it makes light work and knocking the beads off, though, doesn't it?
It
Oh,
I mean,
my
it's
goodness.
17 years of doing it the hard way before we finally, and we built all of this. Like, we didn't buy any of this. Kevin designed and built the whole thing, so it's
Dude, this is insane.
made it easy.
Wow, that is crazy.
One to stay in here,
All right.
and then this will all be mobile because I want to try to start hitting more races than just South Georgia twice a year.
Right.
I'd love to go to World Cup. We're starting to do 13s.
Oh, wow.
And obviously with all the front wheel drive stuff up there, that's pretty popular.
Oh, yeah.
So right now we can do anything from junior dragster wheels, and then I've got a hoop over there. We recently did a set of 32-inch wheels.
Oh, wow. That's
So
insane.
There's a wide range. There's some more. Look, coming in,
Beadlocks.
our faithful FedEx driver.
Beadlocking the world.
You guys have a great day.
Bye. So this is the mobile unit right now. Y'all going to start hitting a ton.
Yeah, we're gonna try to start hitting some more. It's like obviously it costs a good bit for us to load all this stuff up
Oh,
in
yeah.
our trailer and go, but we can schedule enough wheels to be done at the racetrack. It makes it worth it, you know. And for those of you that want to bring your wheels to the racetrack and have them beadlocked and then run them the same day, like that's something we can do.
That is insane. How many can y'all do in a race weekend typically?
About 30 sets.
30 sets. Wow.
Like in Georgia, we normally start on Thursday. From Thursday through Saturday night, we can do about 30 sets of wheels, which may not sound like a lot.
That's a lot.
I promise you, it is a lot.
That is a lot.
We'll change blades a couple times and run through some welding wire, but
man, this is insane. This is pretty cool.
pretty sweet. In fact, this past race in South Georgia, Chad Henderson had some problems with his beadlocks. And between rounds of qualifying, he brought his wheels over. We cut old beadlocks off, put new beadlocks on, and he made next round of qualifying.
That's insane. That is insane. Yeah. To be able to do that right on site is just crazy. Yeah, it is crazy. And a lot of people I know ask all the time too about shipping wheels. You can get a shipping box from like Lowe's, Home Depot, right?
Yep. So Lowe's, Home Depot, and Walmart all have it's a medium-sized, heavy-duty moving box. Most of them are 17 inches square. You can go buy those. I tell everybody, package them like you're going to kick them out of the back of the truck. Not that FedEx or UPS does, but you never know.
It happens.
And ship them to me. We have the option now to get shipping labels from me from my website. Normally a little cheaper than going and doing it yourself. They get here right now, 2 to 3 day turnaround on stuff shipped in. And we also, like you, offer walk-ins. So you can walk in, set of double beadlocks, an hour and a half at most, and back out the door. You know, you're our third walk-in of today.
That's insane. That's right. That is crazy. That is insane that the walk-in is capable and the shipping. I mean, a lot of people. How much does it normally cost to ship?
I mean, obviously, it's super dependent on where it's going.
Right.
On average, I would say you can ship a set of wheels for about $35 a box.
That's not terrible.
Obviously, less expensive if you're closer.
Right.
More if you're from California. Right.
But that's not terrible because that's that big of a box. I know I've tried to buy used wheels off of like Facebook and stuff, and everybody's like, man, it's just going to cost so much to ship them. It's just not worth my time.
Right.
But I mean, $35-$40 a wheel box is not bad. Yeah. So if y'all need anything beadlocked, go to their website. That's a good deal too to make it so that y'all provide the labels.
Yeah, and that, I have to do that manually. So if you go to my website, click and expect them to come instantly, you need to call me and let me know you bought them because I got to go in there on the computer and send them to you.
Right.
But and that's insured. We insure every box. Obviously, I'm sure some of you have had packages lost.
Yeah, it happens.
And I insure them enough to replace your wheel if that was to happen. So.
And they are also on the website now selling the whole wheels already beadlocked.
Yep. So we have. I know some of you probably Billet Specialties, Sanders. If you call looking for a specific sized wheel and they tell you 4 to 6 weeks, more than likely I've got the stuff here to build whatever wheel you're looking for. I do not manufacture a wheel. I don't manufacture a center. I just stock manufacturer shells and manufacturer centers, and I can assemble whatever wheel you want from 0 backspace to 6 inches, as much as you could do on a competition series wheel and get it double beadlocked. But we can do it, man. We've got most of the stuff here to get that done.
Because y'all can adjust the width of the wheel for them specifically too, up to a certain amount.
Yep.
And that's what we were talking about one time before. You see how the barrel kind of goes in.
Yep.
So if they couldn't obviously go down here because the beadlock wouldn't weld to that point.
And we get a lot of calls about can you widen or narrow wheels. We do not do it without putting a beadlock on it. There's some places like Weldcraft out of Michigan that just alter wheels and put stock beads back on them. But most of the time, a 1/2 inch either way on either side of the wheel, I can change it. So if you need a very specific backspace, 4 1/4 or 4 1/8, or we can hit that dead on just with the way that we kind of do things. But that's top secret, man. Can't share.
We ain't gonna share that. Okay, can't do that. Disregard. So this is pretty cool, man. Okay, so now he's gonna set it up. And do you use the same machine for the welding, or do you have?
Not so. Yeah, it's all this. We've got this turntable over here.
Oh, okay. Oh, yes, all together. Gotcha.
Yep. Weld on ring sits down on it. It rotates, and then everything's kind of. It's not automated, but it's set up to where it's kind of fixed, and you just kind of have to manage the deal.
Just monitor it while it's going. Make sure nothing crazy happens.
It zips around there, and here in just a minute you'll have a beadlock wheel.
All right, guys, so just got back here in the back room. This is some inventory. He's going to talk about shells. I did not know that they come like this.
Yep. So this is, how all of your wheels really start, So we've got outer shells, obviously most notably known by the valve stem hole, and then we've got inner shells, and I just, you want There's a 6 and a, so this would be a 10-inch wheel, 4-inch outer, 6-inch inner. Put those together here, and with a 6-inch inner shell, 4-inch outer. If I put just say this center in it, it would be a 5-inch backspace wheel. And I bolt the center in it, weld it together, put your beadlocks on it, ship it out the door.
That is insane.
Yep.
I had no idea that's how they were done.
And this is really how we can kind of avoid the 4 to 6 week wait time, right? Like I've got any backspace wheel you could really think of sitting right here. Just a matter of what 2 shells I put together. And then I stock, all those boxes are centers.
Right.
I've got billet specialty centers, weld centers, sanders centers. And I can build whatever wheel you want right here.
And once you get this welded together, then the centers can still be coming out. They still come out and change if you need to.
So, you know, we put the center in it and bolt it in just to locate it, make sure everything's true,
right,
you know, and where it's supposed to be. Then we weld it together. And then you could take the center out and the shell will still be just a whole shell. So down the road, you change fronts, want to swap centers, change, you know, if you got a 5 on 4.5 axle and you want to go to Chevrolet with 5 on 4 3/4, we can just swap centers, you know, and obviously the center is really what makes the look of the wheel, right? So,
right.
And all that's an option too. We sell them all.
And so this one right here would be an example of one that you were going to get a very low back spacing.
Yeah. So we also have, this is a weld top fuel center.
Oh, wow.
It's an inch thicker than any of your standard centers. Anything really, in my opinion, with 3-inch backspace or less, you should either run the top fuel or a pro modified style solid center. One thing we're running into, in particular with the Alphas, which, well, I've got to set in a box, but those of you that maybe run the Alphas or know what they are, the lugs are independent of each other.
Yes. Yeah.
So they're a very light wheel and a really nice wheel, but the really low backspace ones cannot handle especially the high horsepower drag radial cars. It's just that when you rip loose of the button on a radio and it dead sticks the tire, it's trying to twist that wheel, and there's nothing in the center to hold it together.
Right.
So we really try to push customers looking for really low backspace wheel, anything from 0 up to, you know, say 3-inch. We really try to push them towards a top fuel or a pro mod style center.
Is the pro mod center similar to this?
It is. I actually got one.
That is interesting. And I mean, when you look at that, I mean, I did not even realize that they were solid until you just pointed it out.
Yep, we got it.
Did not even realize it. And so this is like your typical, obviously it's a little bit lighter, but I mean, it's not about the weight in this scenario. You want it to hold up.
Well, you know, these wheels are really expensive.
Right.
You know, and when you're talking about spending $4,000 on a set of wheels, double beadlocked, if you're only getting a season or so out of them, it doesn't really, you know, make a whole lot of sense. But so this is a pro mod center, still solid, just flatter. You know, it's not as thick as the top fuel center, but an option too. And price wise, the top fuels and the pro mods are pretty similar. So,
right.
And they are more expensive, right? You know, those centers, I think the centers alone are over $800 a piece.
All right.
But again, when you're talking about $3,500 to $4,000 for a set of double beadlock wheels, I'd rather them last me 3, 4, 5 years as opposed to getting a season out of them.
Not a wear item that you want to replace every season.
No, sir.
And I mean, when you look at it, you can see why it's more expensive. I mean, it's a big chunk of aluminum that is a lot more sturdy, a lot more beefy. That is wild.
And we can do 1/2-inch backspace increments. I mean, just the standard weld center is a 1/2 inch flatter than your billet specialty center, but because where we cut the wheel, we can alter it a 1/2 inch either way as far as backspace or overall width is concerned. So if you have if you have a 12-inch wheel and you're running a 275 drag radial, we all know today that everybody's going wider, right? Like most of my Pro 275 customers run a 14-inch wide wheel with a 275 now. So if you've got a 12-inch wheel, non-beadlocked, and you're looking to maybe go a little wider, I can add a 1/2 inch to each side and make it a 13.
All right.
But if it's already beadlocked, you got what you got. I can't make that any wider.
All right.
So got some options as far as altering overall width and backspace. You know, and just call me, man. We can help you out.
Man, that is pretty cool. right, Lyle, what we got back here?
So this is where we do all of the, I guess y'all would call it finish machining. All of our rings come as a spin forged piece from our supplier. And then from here, we load them into machines and cut whichever 16 or 24 bolt pattern that you want. And then the design that you choose. You know, like I said, I've got 6 different designs. Each machine kind of has its own place in here to do different things. But all of our machining is done here. All of our anodizing is done just down the road in Raleigh at Surtronics. So we've got 5 different anodized color options, and then obviously a polished or natural machine finish ring. We have mirror finish polishing options. But this is where all the magic happens back here. All the beadlock rings machined right here in-house.
This is wild. Oh, y'all got a new piece of equipment too. That was not here last year when I got here.
Just a lathe. We're, don't use it a whole lot for the beadlock or the wheel process, but outside of just doing wheels, we can do some just general machining for local people that, got a bunch of farmers around here that may need some farm equipment repaired or something. So we've, just got a little bit of everything.
All right, when we go see a set of beadlocks on a tractor?
Well, honestly, man, we've been talking to some,
right. I was just joking, but listen.
Tractor pullers.
Oh, yes.
But those wheels are massive.
How big are they?
I think they're 40 some inches.
Oh my goodness.
So we can't, I don't quite have the capabilities to do that. Like this is a 26.
Oh my.
That's your standard 15-inch beadlock ring.
Dude, that's crazy.
So we're doing some of those, and then I don't have the beadlock ring, but I do have the hoop that we cut off of the 32.
Wow.
That's a 32-inch hoop.
That is, dude. I mean, when you say 15 to 32, I mean, it's double the size.
Yeah.
But it doesn't until you put it beside it. That's when you see it.
Well, there's a 15-inch ring.
Wow. That is that's insane, dude.
Yeah, I mean,
look at that. That makes no.
Pretty crazy. So this is our weld-on ring. All the inserts are pressed in. This is what we would weld to your wheel.
Gotcha.
Then this you bolt on top, and then that's what sandwiches the tire in there to make it a quote-unquote beadlock.
Okay. And then y'all put the little knurls on the inside.
Yep. And
so
then
that it can grab the bead.
For the higher horsepower drag radial stuff, we do most of the time knurl the inside of the bolt-on ring as well. I've got a machine back here that does all the knurling.
And that also depends on, like you were saying a minute ago, too, 16 or 24 bolts. The higher horsepower ones need more bolts.
Really, anything on a drag radial that makes 1,500 horsepower or more, which, when you think about, John, when you and I started racing, 1,500 horsepower was a lot.
It was.
Now you can do that with a junkyard LS and some bulldozer turbo.
True story.
So any of your heavier, especially the heavy cars, high horsepower drag radial stuff, we highly suggest the 24. Just better clamp on that tire. Anything less than that, especially like my bracket guys and whatnot, the 16 bolt is sufficient for that and a little cheaper. But you can go either way. Just once you choose one, that's what you got.
Kind of tied to it.
Cut it back off and redo it.
All right. Man, that piece of machinery right there is massive.
We do all of the custom stuff. So anything 17-inch or larger or 13-inch or smaller, right now we do all back here. Just don't do as much of that as we do the 15 and 16. The 15 and 16-inch stuff is all handled by the 3 machines here on the left.
All right.
But options are wide open, man.
It's wild. Beadlock the world, baby. Let's go check mine out. All right, boys. Well, there you are. There is a finished beadlock. There's the other one. Lyle, I talked about this one time before. A lot of people get messed up on the widths, on where to measure them. On a normal wheel, they measure from the outside. This is where you measure from the outside of the bead.
So on a like this one, you wouldn't measure on the one that's got both rings. You wouldn't measure outside to outside.
Right.
It's from inside to inside roughly. So this one's 13 and a half inches wide or so.
Right.
And then now backspace though is measured from the outside of the beadlock ring to the center.
Right, because that's the outermost part.
Correct.
And that's why I know, like, if you look at that one doesn't have the ring on here. So if you look at it, it looks shorter.
Yeah, but when we get that ring on there,
it's going to be exactly the same. So that's it. So, guys, I appreciate Lyle and his guys working me in today. If y'all need some walk-up appointments, They're here a lot, and they can probably fit you in.
And we can feed you lunch.
And feed lunch. I just got me a nice little burger. They're just in the middle of North Carolina here, so
Yep.
not very far. Go to their website, check them out. Mac-Fab, appreciate it. Lyle, good luck in your racing season.
Thanks, man. Y'all too.
He's doing the World Series of Pro Mod stuff, the Winter Series. How many races is that?
3, the Snowbirds, U.S. Street Nationals, and then the World Series of Pro Mod. And I'm pumped up, man. We got a fast hot rod with Tommy Humans and looking to go down there. And I won the Snowbirds last year in Pro Mod.
That's awesome.
We're on the event t-shirt, so I'm looking to go back there and defend that title.
Heck yeah, baby. Let's go. Well, good luck.
Thank
Check them out, Mac-Fab Beadlocks.